I went in the placement office in North Texas and didn't really expect much, but I had already inquired in some high school jobs. But they told me that Wayland College, they call it, was looking for a basketball coach. And so I called Dr. McDonald, and he told me to come on out.
Had you gone to college with the idea that you might be a coach, or was that just something that kind of came to you at a later time?
Later.
What was there a time in your life that you kind of felt like, hey, I think maybe coaching might be a good thing to get into?
Didn't really think about that until overseas in the service. And I was with some coaches and college athletes, and we played basketball on nearly every base where I was. And I got to thinking about it a little bit then.
Had you ever been on the Wayland campus before then?
No.
Even though you live close 50 miles away, you've never been there?
I don't believe I had.
Okay. Did you have any other coaching opportunities, or was that the first one you looked into?
That was really the first one I looked into. I talked to 2 or 3 high schools, but never did go for an interview or anything.
Right. I guess one thing we never have asked you, did anyone ever try to hire you away from Wayland?
Not really, because I was a head coach, and I could have gone as an assistant coach when I was coaching the men, but after I changed over to women, well, that was probably it.
Right. I guess what I mentioned while we're thinking about it, that Harley's record was 437-68 coaching the women from 1955 to 73, and 171-97 coaching the men from 48 to 57 for a total of 608, 165. So that's pretty rare to be in that the ranks of someone winning even 500, but to be in 600. Talk about the challenges of playing in a place with sort of limited facilities. When you came to Wayland, the old Cracker Box was a pretty meager place, wasn't it?
Our first year was spent mainly on painting and putting in windows and doors and trying to get it where we could play in it and practice in it.
Now, they had been playing, though, all along.
No.
No?
No athletics of any kind at Wayland for about 4 years during the war. Yeah.
Okay. They had dropped football, I guess, right before the war.
Yeah, about 41, I think.
Okay. But there had been a women's basketball team through the years at different times at Wayland, had there not?
Yeah, very informally, just some girls wanted to play, and before I arrived, well, the chemistry teacher went with them to games and played high schools. But
not much college competition.
that was kind of like intramurals, really, what it was.
Okay. We want to talk more specifically about the fact that you've always been, it's been attributed to you that you were very involved in some major changes in the game of basketball. I wanted to ask you specifically about the 30-second clock. Do you remember how that came about, or where that change came about? Apparently they were not using that 30-second clock when you started.
No, we were playing 2 forwards, 2 guards, and 2 rovers.
Right.
And when we went to the Pan American Games and the World Tournament, we were really at a disadvantage. And that's when I started. I was on the United States Olympic Committee Rules Committee for a long time. And I started campaigning, trying to get us over to international rules. But I was about the only one that really wanted to do it.
Right. So international rules would have been a 5-player game?
Yes.
What about the clock?
No.
The clock was...
No clock.
Okay. Now, so we didn't actually... The 5-player game did not come into effect till the early 70s, wasn't it?
No, I think it's about 65, somewhere along there, I think.
And then when about the 30-second clock?
Same time.
Okay.
International rules had a 30-second. And, you know, we played 3 dribbles, 3 bounces, and that all changed at the same time.
Okay. Do you remember personally campaigning for all of those 3 things?
I just campaigned for the international rules. It amounted to that.
I guess the 3 dribbles, that meant the officials had to be paying attention and counting those dribbles.
Yeah.
And do you remember what the signal was when they violated that rule?
Double dribble, I think.
You'd like a double dribble. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you remember anybody else that was real influential on that Olympic committee that might be people that other folks would recognize by name?
No, very few were for it. But the Olympic committee consisted of all the people are deceased now, but they weren't, we wouldn't know them anyway, women's basketball. They were just...
And by international, that meant literally all around the world.
Yeah.